Welcome to Melissa Honey Speaks, where we chat about feminine magic, mindset, and manifesting. I'm your host, Melissa Honey. Hey, honeybees. Welcome back. In today's episode, I want to talk about faking it. And are we faking it? And what that means for our lives, feminine empowerment, divine feminine, what that means for manifesting. So recently, I'm inspired by all these things I see online all the time because that gives me food for thought, things I want to bring to my audience. So anyway, I was reading an article, watched a video about a woman who said she'd been married for over 20 years. And for most of that time, she has been faking it. So you know what I mean by faking it. So let's get into it. First of all, so she faked it for 10 years. That's a long time to when you're married for 20 years and you faked your pleasure for 10 years, right? So she went on to say that she didn't know herself and other things, but it made me think about the idea that I know I talked about on the last recent podcast talking about pleasure and the pleasure principle and how we have to ask for what we want. And this just made me wanted to talk about it more because more and more I see, and I know, I talk to them all the time. I know what women are doing and what they're thinking and why they're thinking it. But it got me to thinking about the idea that if we are faking it, why are we? Have we been trained to think that pleasure and sex and intimacy, all these things are only for men and only men should enjoy it? Because women are taught and trained. We can look on any social media and see women teaching other women how to please their men and all these things. But are there men teaching men how to please women and vice versa? And are women focus on learning how they want to be pleased and what they enjoy and all the things about them that they like and all these things? So he got me to thinking about the fact that, okay, so are these ideas patriarchal ideas, ideas that we have been trained? Where are all these ideas coming from? Like, why are we faking it? Why are we not saying what we want in the bedroom? Why are we not saying what we want in life? Because if we're not, guess what? We're not going to get it. So this relates to manifesting, because if we're, so in our personal lives, if we're not asking for what we want, we're not being satisfied because we're faking, and we're not discovering who we are seated in a place of denial, or maybe not knowing, or maybe shame or guilt, or all these things, because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or anyone's egos by saying this, we don't like this, we would prefer this. And a lot of times that has a lot to do with it. But if we're not empowered enough, so we have all these women's rights, and we fought for women's rights and all these things that we can do now, but we're not speaking up for ourselves. We're not saying what we want. We're not demanding. And so if we're not doing that, then we're not manifesting what we want. A lot of times we're living these lives that we think that are the lives we should be living based on all these outside forces and ideas. So you think about it. So if we're seated in a place of denial, we're seated in a place of shame or guilt, or not knowing who we are as a woman or what we want as a woman, then how does that affect us in our manifesting, in our mindsets? Because you cannot manifest from a place, you can manifest from a place of denial and shame or guilt or whatever it is, dissatisfaction. You can manifest from those places because you can manifest anything from anywhere. However, what do you manifest when you're seated in these situations of, or this place of guilt, this place of shame, this place of denial, or not knowing, or just be in this place of, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'll just take the L on this because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings by saying what I want and saying that I don't like this and I do like this, and not being, not deciding and saying this is what I want and that's what I want, and just letting whatever happen to you. It's just by default. So we're creating by default, right? So in order to be in a place of intention and manifest from a place of intention, we have to be bold. We have to say, this is what I like. This is what I want. This is this and this and that. And we cannot be in a place of denial. Because if we're in a place of denial or shame, guess what? We're going to manifest more situations that we can be shameful of, that we can be guilty about, or even be dissatisfied. If you're manifesting from a place of dissatisfaction, you're dissatisfied. So guess what? The universe is going to give you more things to be dissatisfied about until you decide that you want to change how you are manifesting, how you're creating. And you do that by changing your energy, changing what you want. The intentional manifestation part is about being intentional about what we want in every area of our lives, whether it's in intimate experiences, whether it's in our career, whether it's in our parenting, whether it's in our relationships, whether it's whatever it is, just our fun in life. We have to be intentional. If we're not intentional about it, going about saying what we want and really focus on what we want and why we want it, then guess what? We will continue to manifest the things we don't desire because we're sitting in a place of dissatisfaction. We're sitting in a place of denial. We're sitting in a place of default, like, well, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, it does matter because you'll create more of the energy that you keep. You keep the same energy, guess what? You'll create the same things. So we want to focus on manifesting what we want in relationships, in intimate connections, in our careers, in our money. And we do that by focusing on the things that we want. We do it by saying what we want. We do it by creating opportunities for ourselves to be in situations where we can say, this is what I want. Even if it's to a person, if it's to ourselves, whoever it is, you have to be manifesting intentionally. It's about boldness. It's about shameless boldness. It's about being bold and not being shamed by your boldness, because you want to go out there. You want to create these great lives, whatever a great life or is to you, or whatever it is, you want to create that. So creating it is about being bold in your intentions and saying, this is what I want. I know what I want, and I'm going to ask for it all the time. Because when you ask for it all the time, guess what? You start to get all the things that you want, because your energy is changing. You're saying, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, and you're doing it. And that's the whole purpose of manifesting. It's because we know that we can manifest anything from anywhere. We know we can manifest great things that we love. We know we can manifest things we don't love. So if we're constantly manifesting, no matter what we're doing, we're manifesting. We might as well focus on being bold and manifesting exactly what we want, because we have that power within us to manifest exactly what we want. So if you're out here faking it, guess what? You're going to always be fake. You're going to be faking your happiness. You're going to be faking your joy. There'll be so much to fake because you're just faking it. And there's no reason to fake pleasure if you don't have to. If you can say what you want and discover who you are. And are we doing that? So we want to do more of that so that we can manifest more of what we want. We don't want to be faking it. We don't want to be seated in a place of shame, guilt, not knowing ourselves in all these places, because that's what the universe is going to give us. So with that said, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Be sure to follow Masani Speaks on Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, Deezer, and you can also catch me on YouTube.